Hi guys, welcome to our channel. Today we will talk about web TV miniseries Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon is an American cyberpunk web television series created by Liata Kalogridis and based on the 2002 novel of the same title by English author Richard K. Morgan. In the world where consequences can be transferred to different bodies, Takashi Koi's, a former soldier turned investigator, must solve a murder. The first season consists of 10 episodes and premiered on Netflix on 2nd February 2018. On 27 July 2018, the series was renewed for a second season of 8 episodes, which was released on February 27, 2020 with an anime film set before the first season released on 19 March 2020. The series received generally positive reviews. The series takes place over 360 years in the future, with most episodes the first season set in year 2384 in a futuristic metropolis known as Bi-City. In the future, a person's memories and consciousness are written on a desk-shaped device called a cortical stack, which is implanted in the vertebrae at the back of the neck. These storage devices are of alien design and have been reverse engineered and mass production but can only be made for the material on Harlan's world. Physical human or synthetic bodies are called sleeves, and stacks can be transferred to new bodies after death, but a person can still be killed if their stack is destroyed and there is no backup. While this means anyone can live forever, only the wealthiest, known as Mathis in reference to Mathisilatia, have the means to change bodies throughout clones and remote storage of their consciousness in satellites, so they never have to die of old age before being re-sleeved. Takashi Koi's, a political operative with mercenary skills, in the sole surviving soldier of the Envoy, a rebel group defeated in an uprising against the New World Order. In the first season, set to 50 years after the Envoys are destroyed, his track is pulled out of prison by 300 years old Matt Lawrence Bancroft, on one of the wealthiest men in the settled world. Bancroft offers him the chance to solve a murder. Bancroft's on to get a new shot at life. In the second season, set 30 years later, Kovacs, now in a new sleep, continues to search for his lost love and envoy leader, Chris Falconer. Netflix ordered the series in January 2016, 15 years after Laita Kalogridis optioned the novel with the intention of making a feature film. According to Kalogridis, the complex nature of the novel and its R-rated material meant that it was a tough sell for studios before Netflix ordered the series. The show was one of a number of dramas ordered in short order by Netflix, which has committed to spending $5 billion on original content. Kalogridis wrote the script and served as executive producer and showrunner. Steve Blackman served as a co-showrunner. David Ellison, Dana Goldberg, and Mercy Rose of Skydance Television also served as producer, as well as Brent Fisher and Jam Vanderbilt of Kalogridis Mythology Entertainment. Miguel Sapochnik directed the pilot episode. Morgan served as a consultant during the show's production. The series was reportedly the most expensive Netflix production to date. The production costs were not disclosed, but Kinnaman said it had bigger budget than the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones. Anna Foley served as costume designer. The production crew fitted about 2,000 costumes, and costumes made at least 500 pieces for the show, and emphasized grounded look for future fashion, but the figure is specific details such as a unique palette for the Matthew characters and subtle costume change when different people are inhabiting the same sleeves. The series is produced in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Lawrence Bancroft Gardens was filmed in University of British Columbia, Rose Garden, and the lobby of the Marine Building served as Bancroft's home. The old Canada Post Building was used as a location of the Y Clinic, where Kovacs was tortured. Scenes with the Envoy were filmed on the Sea to Sky gondola suspension bridge in Squamish. Other Vancouver locations included the Convention Center's West Building, the Visitor Center at Van Dusen Botanical Garden, the UBC Museum of Anthropology, and the QB. The series contained references to several earlier cyberpunk classics such as Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell, as well as several literary works such as the stories of Edgar Allan Poe. Altered Carbon was renewed for a second season in July 2018. Anthony Mackie took over the lead role of Takeshi Kawakes, replacing the first season lead star Joel Kinnaman. Additionally, Alison Shakespeare joined the series as co-showrunner alongside Leata Kologridis. On 23 May 2019, it was announced that Shakespeare would be the primary showrunner for the series, replacing Leata Kologridis, who is still crediting as an executive producer. The first season is based on Richard Morgan's 2002 novel Altered Carbon. While most of the major plot points in the book are retained, the adoption featuring several major changes for character and organizations. In the novel, the Envoys are elite soldiers of the United Nations Protectorate based on Earth, quite the opposite of the freedom-fighting rebels of the show. Originating from Holland, where Vulcan Kawakes was born. In the book, Kawakes was imprisoned for his freelance work after leaving the Envoys, while in the show, Kawakes is a captured rebel. The character of Relins Kawara in the novel was Marley Kawakes, ruthless underworld boss, and had no blood relation with him, in the contrast to their sibling relationship in the show. The envoys who trained Kawakes in the book was Virginia Vidora. The show's Vidora is only a minor character. Instead, his trainer is giving the name and backstory of Quellcrist Fronser. Falconer rebellions occurred not during Kawakes' training as in the show, but long before Kawakes was burned in the books. The Hendrix is an alt character in the novel. It runs the hotel and takes the form of Jimi Hendrix. Hendrix extended this line to license his image for the television series because of its violence. Instead, showrunner Kologridis chose the likeness of Edgar Allan Poe and the Victorian-era hotel for the replacement Poe character and said it would juxtapose well with the frustrating Bay City. On 7th November 2018, Netflix announced a spin-off anime film serving to expand the universe of the series, and new elements of the story mythology was in active development. Title Altered Carbon Resleeve the Future uses character designed by manga artist Yasuo Otagaki, is written by Dai Sato and Tsukasa Kando, directed by Takiro Nakajima and Yoshiyuki Okada, produced by Anima, and feature an original music score by Keigo Hoashi Kyugina Takashi from the Manaka. The film was released on 19 March 2020. On Rotten Tomatoes, Altered Carbon Resleeved has 4 reviews listed, 3 are positive and 1 is negative. David Griffin of IGN gave it 6 out of 10, called it a delighting entry in the Takeshi Kawakes saga that excels in the action department while neglecting to fully develop its main character in a way that makes a lasting impact. John Serbo of Decipher.com wrote, Resleeved won't knock anyone's socks off, but it effectively pleases newcomers and hardcores alike. Paul Tassi of Forbes said Altered Carbon Resleeved was not worth watching even for friends, comparing it to a video game but without the interactivity. Human-machine interface, gender identity, technology and society, cyberspace and objective reality, hyper-urbanization and passes of urban planning, artificially intelligence, paranoia. A key concept in Netflix cyberpunk series Altered Carbon is a stack, an advanced hard drive installed on the brainstem on which a person can save a copy of their consciousness. The main effect of stack technology is a form of immortality because a stack can be installed into another body if the original body lies. But there is another major implication only hinted at during the first season of Altered Carbon. If you could choose your own body, would you go with the one you were born with? That's an especially important question for gender fluid or transgender people. The topic was only hinted at in the first season, but Altered Carbon creator Leita Kologridis told the Warp it's something she would like to explore in the greater detail. On review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes, the first season holds an approval rating of 68% based on 95 reviews and an average rating of 6.59 over 10. The website Critical Consensus rates Altered Carbon leans hard into its cyberpunk roots, serving up an ambitiously popular viewing experience that often overwhelms but never bores. On Metacritic, the season has a weighted average score of 64 out of 100 based on 25 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. David Griffin of IGN said the show gets almost everything right as a cyberpunk fantasy land. Griffin praised the visual and the complexity of the pilot as well as the acting, such as Chris Connor's performance as the AL hotel manager Poe. He also wrote of the show's problem, such as the intricacies of the murder often got in the way of the show momentum, and the murder plot loses steam early on. He ultimately gave it a score of 8.8 out of 10, summarizing it a visual titan with a less than stellar story. Mitchell Rogge of GameSpot made a point of calling it hardcore science fiction as a not science fiction gumshoe thriller bursting with the trapping of a virgin for murdered prostitute and the holographic billboards as to Alice, who fits between the real world and some convoluted cyberspace. The review praised how cheaply the show explained and explored the cortical stack, the central concept. Catherine Pearson of Digital Spy said that visuals were magnificent and the theme fascinating, but that it had flaws. For example, the character mumbling their way through long exploratory dialogue. The Vancouver Sun summarized that the reaction of the professional critics was mixed, and that the critics' conclusion was that the murder mystery takes a back seat to the show for a static visual. Entertainment Weekly also summarized reviews saying the consensus was that the visuals were spectacular, but the violence against women raised questions. Darren French of Entertainment Weekly gave it a B grade and wrote that the show tackles race, gender, and class with all the subtlety of a blowtorch. Forbes criticized other critics for speaking negatively of the show and called it terrific and one of the best science fiction shows on television. Andrew Liptek of The Verge called an engrossing but criticized the lack of focus on the relationships between the characters. Robert Loyal of the Los Angeles Times gave it a mixed reviews but particularly praised Hinman even if the fight scenes were described as tedious in a way. Jen Cheney of Visual said the show was ambitious, convoluted, violent, derivative, and show how simulationally grimy and glossy, but ultimately gave it a negative reviews, saying the visual candy and the philosophical subtext of Altered Carbon may wash over me, but none of it gets absorbed in an lasting way. Radio Times wrote that the drama tries to find its groove, but shifting erratically from noir detective drama to war epic to soap opera, ultimately failing to meet its own lofty ambitions in an tenacious high maker that only manages to graze its target. The review noted that the show takes on too much and that much of the story could have been left for a second season. Benjamin Lee at The Guardian gave the series 3 over 5, praising the sheer ambitious scale of it all, and it's an impressive setup from what we are usually offered. Lee compared it to the work of Paul Verhoeven, only lacking the social commentary. He concludes it's refreshing to see a show so unsmashed about its pulpiness. The spectacle might grow stable, but for now, the flash is blinding. Many critics focus on the show violence. Gavia Baker-Whitelaw of the Daily Dot wrote that the show seemed to use the dystopian seeking an excuse for sexualized violence and that the focus on death-necked women bodies was a massive distraction from the show's stronger points like the well choreographed fight scenes and Takashi Kovacs' backstory. Digital Spy defended the level of violence, arguing it accurately reflected the books and was the point of the franchise, as without showing brutal, unremitting violence, Altered Carbon would fail to fully explore the dystopian reality it aims to present. Kimberly Roots of TV Line also criticized the scenes of violence and nudity and also said the story suffered from uneven pacing. However, she noted that the investigation path clicks along smartly and that the fight sequences were sophisticated. She gave it a B grade. On Rotten Tomatoes, the second season holds an approval rating of 85% based on 32 reviews and an average rating of 70.16 over 10. The website Critical Conscience reads, while not quite there yet, a clearer sense of purpose and more defined character help Altered Carbon sophomore season step closer to the brilliance of its source material. On Metacritic, the season has a weighted average score of 65 out of 100 based on 8 critics indicating generally favorable reviews. Dear viewers, our goal to introduce you to every Hollywood movie and English TV series. Your support is everything to us. Be sure to express your opinion in the comment below and let us know how you like our videos. Share our channel and thumbs up on our videos. If you have liked this informative video, then press the below like button and encourage us. Thanks for watching.